Hi everyone, welcome back. It's so great to have you here with me. So, I've got my canvas ready. I'm using a rectangular canvas, but I'm using some new paints. I'm actually using some specific fluid acrylic paints. These are by Rowney. They're the System 3 fluid acrylics, and I'm mixing them with the Rowney pouring medium. So at the moment, I'm doing 1 part paint to 5 parts pouring medium and adding just a little bit of water for fluidity. So I'm kind of using 1 part paint, half part water, 5 parts pouring medium. And when you actually read the label, it does say they suggest 1 part paint to 5 parts pouring medium, and then just tweak your fluidity depending on what technique you're doing. So I'm going to take you down to see the colours. I've got 7 different colours today that I'm going to use on this canvas. I'm really excited to just paint, but I'm even more excited that you're here with me. So let's make some art, let's have a little bit of fun, and let's see what we can create. Okay, so this is the pouring medium that I'm using today, the Rowney System 3 Fluid Acrylic Pouring Medium. And then I'm using the Fluid Acrylic range. I've got 7 different colours that I'm going to use, from purple, blues, greens, yellow, red, black and white. And I will list all those colours in the description box below. So just expand that and you'll see that. And here are my paints mixed up. So I have used 1 part paint, 5 parts pouring medium, half part water. And you'll see once I've done that, this is the fluidity that you'll get. So it trickles off the spatula and then just disappears into the paint. And that's the same with all of the colours. I have found the green to be a bit thicker, so I probably use with the green 1 part water. So 1 part paint, 1 part water, 5 parts pouring medium. But when you're using new paints that you've not used before, or a brand that you've not used before, it's about just experimenting with the fluidity. But what I would say with these paints is they're very smooth. And I think you can see that as it kind of sits on the spatula and just trickles into the cup. Very, very smooth. I have found the white to be more fluid than the other colours. So I didn't add as much water, probably just a 1/4 part water. So again, it's just experimenting. So there are my colours. I've got my rectangular canvas, but what I would just point out is when you're using different paints, just see if they've got an information sheet online. So Rowney have an information sheet for their acrylic paints. So it kind of outlines the colours that they have available, whether they're opaque, semi-opaque or transparent. Again, it's just about reading the label on the paint itself. So here we go. So a black square would indicate opaque. Semi-opaque is a square with half black, half white, and transparent is fully white. So when we go over to our paints, you can see purple is transparent, ultramarine, half and half, so semi-opaque. And then when you come along to say the red, the white and the black, it's a solid square. So they're opaque. So it's just about learning about that as well. So they're the paints. That's the consistency. I've got my canvas. Let's go. So I'm going to start off using the black and the white paint. And I'm going to puddle those onto the canvas. So the black and the white paint are now puddled onto the canvas, and that's almost like the base paint. And now I'm going to take one colour at a time and puddle those colours on top of the black and white puddles. So all the colours are down, and you've guessed it, it's marble time. So I'm going to take my marble and I'm just going to drop it into this puddle. So it's about creating some lines with this marble. So I'm picking up the canvas and I'm going to tilt the canvas from side to side to allow that marble to travel from one puddle to another. And as it goes from one puddle to another puddle to another puddle, it's taking that colour and that paint with it. And it's kind of creating those lines as it travels across that surface area through all those puddles of paint. I feel that I've had enough movement on that canvas, so I'm just going to drop the marble onto the table, place the canvas on the stands and use the torch just to pop any air bubbles. But as I do that, I'd really notice a reaction with the paint. And I don't know if you can see it there, but I can almost see some cells starting to form. So these are new paints to me, and I've mixed the paint with the pouring medium and some water. There's no silicone in this mixture, and there's no cell activator. But what I'm witnessing is a reaction with all those paints. Now, I don't know if it's the black and the white paint that I've used right at the beginning, because I use those as puddles on the surface area before placing those colours on top. But as I'm stretching out the paint, as I'm opening up those lines that the marble has created, I can really see a reaction with the paint. And I've got to be honest, I don't really know what's happening until I take a really close look. But I'm excited because I can see all these cells starting to form. And if this is going to be about a cell reaction and a paint reaction, then I might have just discovered some new paints to use to create almost like a cloud effect or a cell reaction effect. Anyway, I'm going to continue stretching the paint across the surface area, and then I'm going to take you in for a closer look, and I'm going to see if these change further. So here we are. I'm going to take you in for a closer look, and can you believe what you're seeing? I can see those white cells. In fact, I can see different colour cells reacting in the paint. So yeah, I can see all those colours underneath, but there's obviously that reaction with the white, the black and those colours, and it's almost having a bit like a cloud effect or definitely a cell reaction. Guys, I'm excited to see how this is going to turn out. I am going to place it to one side and I will show you the dry version shortly, but just enjoy some of this detail. So here we go. The painting is fully dry. What I really, really love about this is the colour that you can see underneath. And then all the different colour cells that you can see. That yellow, that vibrant yellow has just not muddied at all. So I'm going to experiment so many more times with this paint. And I really do love the effect that you can achieve by doing this technique. Okay, I've lost the lines from the marble, but that's okay. That's kind of just subtly underneath. But it's those colours that I can see beneath that cloud or that cell reaction. I'm excited. I'm going to have so many more experiments to do, but I hope you've enjoyed seeing this. And I really hope I get to see you again in the next video. Have a great week ahead, everyone, and whatever you're up to creatively, I hope you're having fun. See you soon. Bye.